Guys, what's up? It's your girl Day Cop, aka the Army RN, and today we're back with another video. In this video, we'll be talking about active duty versus Army Reserve. So, I've been getting this question a lot on my TikTok. So right now, just stop. If you're not already following me on my TikTok or my Instagram, pause this video right now and go follow me at the Army RN. That's my TikTok name and my Instagram name. And as a matter of fact, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe on my YouTube channel right now, okay? I'll give y'all some time. I'll wait. Oh, guess what, guys? I have something very special for everyone who stays tuned to the end of the video, okay? I'm doing something very special for everyone September 29th, okay? But you have to stay tuned to the end of the video, okay? Alright. Before we even dive deep into this video, don't focus on my lashes, okay? I know I'm missing lashes, alright? I'm not really a lash girl. I went to Atlanta a couple weeks ago and I got my lashes done. I don't wear makeup, so I just do lashes. As a matter of fact, if you haven't seen my Atlanta vlog, Nurses Take Invest Fest, please stop, go back and watch it. It was really, really good. But yeah, as you can see, I sleep on this side. That's why these are coming out versus this one. I need to go get them taken off, but that's besides the point, okay? Just let's not focus on my lashes, okay? Thank you. Alright guys, let's go ahead and dive right into this video, okay? Today we're gonna be talking about active duty versus reserve. What's the difference? Which one is better for me? I don't know. I got you covered, okay? So first thing I want y'all to do is drop below if you're interested in active duty, reserve side. Are you already in the military? If so, let me know what branch you in. And let me know, are you on the active duty side or the reserve side? I want this to be like interactive so I can get to know you guys, okay? So me personally, I'm in the Army National Guard. So the National Guard is a reserve component. So you have the reserve and then you have National Guard. So let me kind of break it down a little bit, all right? So active duty, they're full-time military. Day-to-day, that's their 9 to 5. They have a duty station. So with the reserve side, so you have reserve and the National Guard is a component of the reserve side. And so reservists, what we do is we go to drill 2 days out of the month. So that's 1 week in a month and 2 weeks out of the summer. So that's the big difference between the two. Now, the National Guard side is a little different from the reserves. As far as the National Guard, they are limited to that state. So you have like the Louisiana National Guard, Texas National Guard, Georgia National Guard, California National Guard. So you have the big Army at the top, then you have reserve, and then under reserve you have the National Guard component. And the National Guard component is to protect the states. So National Guard, our job is to protect the states from anything like national disasters, riots, any state emergency that happens stateside. That's the National Guard that you see who come in. Whereas active duty members, they're more likely to get deployed overseas and protect us worldwide, if that makes sense. And so National Guard members and reserve members can be deployed, but the big difference between the reservists being deployed and the active duty being deployed is that active duty, they're the first call. They're the first call when it comes to deployment versus Reservists, we kind of are on like a scheduled rotation. Maybe it's every 5 years, every 10 years, where a reserve unit would be up to deploy. So that's not to say, like, let's say you want to deploy. As a reserve member, you can volunteer for a deployment. So let's talk benefits when it comes to active duty versus National Guard, okay? So active duty members, they get all of their benefits day one. So as soon as you enlist in the military, you get full TRICARE, VA loan, you're eligible for all those things as soon as you enlist. Versus on the reserve side, we do have the same benefits, but it just looks a little different. So on the reserve side, we do have access to TRICARE, but we have to pay a small fee out of pocket. Versus active duty, they automatically get it. But the good thing is that that small fee is still cheaper than like private insurance or employee insurance. Also, active duty, they still get educational benefits as well, like having a school paid for. Reservists, we get the same benefits also. We have something called tuition exemption, and then in some states we have something called tuition assistance, where a certain amount of money goes towards your college education. It varies state to state and branch to branch. So you would have to get the details from the branch and the state that you're trying to get in if you're on the reserve side. Versus active duty, they get all those benefits up there up front. And then when it comes to enlistment on the active duty side versus the reserve side, typical contracts for active duty can be anywhere between 3 to 5 years. And then after that time is over, they can always re-enlist or get out. Versus on the reserve side, it's a 6-year contract that you have to sign initially. And that's more so because we're part-time. Versus active duty, they're full-time, so they get their benefits up front. So active duty, full-time soldier, reservists, we're part-time soldiers. I do want to add a little bit more information when it comes to the reserve contract. So yes, it's a 6-year commitment that you initially sign up for, but then there's an additional 2 years, which will make it 8 years, but that 2 years is like in active duty time, which means you commit to 6 years in the reserve active, where you're drilling. So it's like active drilling status. So like for the first 6 years, it's active drilling status, where you go to drill 1 week in the morning, 2 weeks after summer. But then those last 2 years is a inactive side, where you're still on the books, but you're no longer actively drilling. And so what that means is that if anything was to happen, like a real big state of emergency, like something like, it'll have to be something crazy, they could pull those inactive drilling soldiers and have them come in. I have yet to hear of that actually happening, but that's what that extra 2 years. So it's actually a total of 8. So it's 6 active drilling and 2 inactive. And that's kind of something that is not always talked about. So like those 2 years inactive, you're home. You're home while everyone else is drilling. You may have to come once a year to a PHA, which is just like a periodic health assessment, where they just check your vitals, your hearing, get an update on medical conditions, anything of that sort. But that's something that I wanted to share as well, because some people don't know that. So guys, just based off this little information that I gave, comment below. Let me know which way y'all headed. If y'all thinking active duty, or are you thinking more reserve? Another big thing that I want to share is that active duty members and reserve members, you go to the same basic training and the same AIT. AIT is your advanced individual training. So your basic training boot camp could be anywhere from 8 to 9 months. So from that, then you go to AIT. But the route can look a little different for an active duty member and a reserve member. Here's an example. An active duty soldier goes straight to basic training. Then from basic training, they go directly to AIT. And then from AIT, they go directly to their permanent duty station. And then they just start working in the Army day to day, 9 to 5. Well, a reservist, you go to basic training, right? But you can schedule your AIT at a different date. So like, let's say you're already in school right now, or you have something coming up. You can have it scheduled to where my basic training starts December. I do basic training, and then my AIT could be another 8 months later. But in order to do that, you have to do that when you initially enlist and sign your contract. So you have to have those dates in place when you sign up. So after a reservist comes back from AIT, they go home. And then they report to their drilling station. If they have drill that month, then they go to drill that month that they come home. Or if drill has already passed for that month, they go to drill the next month. So that's the biggest difference. Reserve side gives you a little bit more flexibility as far as when you go to basic training, when you go to AIT. Now, if you want to go do everything back to back on a reserve side, you can. Or if you know you have something going on in your life and you can't do them both at the same time, or let's say you have a small child at home, you won't have childcare for that extended period of time, you can break it up on the reserve side. But unfortunately, if you're active duty, you don't really necessarily have that option. But it was awesome that when I went to basic training, I was able to go to my training with active duty members and reserve members. And some of those people that I met in basic training, I'm still friends with them to this day. And I was back in 2016. So I'll share a little bit of my journey and what I did. So I graduated high school May 2015. I enlisted in the military July 2015. My brothers had just went to the military, and they were telling me, well, you know, they'll pay for your school and your college and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. So when I went to high school, I was like ranked number 5 in my class. I had scholarships, but those scholarships were only gonna last me my first semester. And mom had 4 kids, and she was a single mother. So I just knew, like, I don't want to put that burden on my mom. And then I knew I wanted to go to nursing school. I knew it was going to be hard. And I felt like the military would have provided me like a financial relief of not having to pay for college myself. So that was my thought process when I enlisted in the military. It was an impulse decision. But when my brothers told me the benefits, it was like, you know what, too easy. That's exactly what I need. So literally I enlisted July 2015, but I made it clear to my recruiter that, hey, I'm going to college my first semester, which was my fall semester. So I arranged that my basic training was December 2015. So go to college, went to basic training, and then my AIT, which is your advanced individual training, I had that scheduled back to back after my basic training because I wanted it all done by the end of that spring semester so I can go back to college that following fall. So that's what I did. And another thing that I had to do was I had to make sure that the job that I chose for my annual training was something that was short. Because basic training is anywhere between 8 to 9 weeks, and then that annual training where you learn your job could be anywhere from 4 weeks to 18 months, 24 months, depending on what that job is. So you could be a cook, you can be a medic, you can be a truck driver. There's so many options, like human resources. Like, if you name it, you can be it. But I wanted something quick. Like, I wanted to just get in and get it out. And like, because I wanted to do nursing, you may have assumed, well, why didn't you become a medic? Because the medic training was too long. I needed something quick. So I did 74 Delta, which was CBurn. Chemical, you see those people who wear the gas masks and the hazmat stuff? That was my job in the military when I was enlisted. And my recruiter told me that I would get chemistry credit. Let me tell you, I never got it. And that brings me to another point, is that when you're going through the process of enlisted, if those recruiters promise you anything, make sure you get it in writing. Okay? Do not sign unless it's in black and white in your contract. So if they say you're going to get a sign-on bonus if you commit 4 years or 20,000 sign-on bonus, get it in writing. And then you need to know the terms in which you're going to get that sign-on bonus. Is it going to be upfront? Are they going to break it down? Like, you get half this year, you get the other half at the end of your contract. Those are the things you need to know. And those are the things you want to ask. And if you don't understand it, don't sign it. Do not sign until you understand everything within that contract. Yeah, the big thing I just wanted to cover, because sometimes when you're young and you don't know, you're impressionable, and those recruiters just tell you what you want to hear. And I don't want that to happen to any of you guys, okay? So review that contract. If it's not in writing, do not sign. All right? If they promise you $20,000 sign-on bonus, you read it verbatim in your contract. So that way, if anything happens, you can say, hey, you owe me this money. You feel what I'm saying? Okay. So back to my story. I don't know if I finished it or not, but went to basic training, AIT, in my spring semester. And then by that next fall, I was back in college. And because I completed basic training and AIT, I was able to start using my tuition exemption that following fall. So that was my little hack, honestly. So guys, let's just take a break for a minute. Let me know what y'all thinking. Are y'all thinking active duty, Army Reserve, or do you still like don't know yet? Let me leave a comment below and let me know like where your mind is. Also, keep watching till the end of the video, because September 29th, I will be doing a live military Q&A. So that way, any questions you guys have, you'll be able to ask me directly, and I'll answer those questions for you, okay? But you gotta stay tuned to the end so I can get you the information on where it's gonna be, okay? So here are some things that you should consider before deciding if you want to be active duty or reserve. You kind of got to take a look at yourself and see, what are my goals? What do I want out of life in the military? So here's some things I suggest. Are you maybe thinking, hey, I'm ready to get away from home. I want to travel the world. I want to meet new people. I got some troubles back at home I want to leave behind, some people I want to leave behind. If that's kind of where you are in life, then active duty would be the perfect branch for you. Now on the other side, if you enjoy being a civilian, you love the flexibility of getting up and doing what you want to do, but you still like the benefits of the military, but don't really want to commit to doing it every day, day to day, then I suggest the reserve side for you. And that was my decision. I went the reserve side. And for me, that was the best options for me, because I was able to be in the military and a civilian. So for me, in my mind, I'm living the best of both worlds. So I love it here, you know. But active duty, some people are For some people, active duty is the best option. And the beautiful thing with active duty is that you can do 20 years in the military, and when you get out at 20 years, you have full benefits, full pension, retirement, maybe even a little disability. So it's like, let's say you get in the military at 18. By the time you turn 20, that'll make you 30. Well, you get in the military at 18. You do your 20 years. By the time you're 38, like, you have a whole career and you have retirement. And the beautiful thing with that is that 38 or 40, you can retire. You can retire from the military. And guess what? Now, if you want, you can be a civilian. And at 40, you're still young enough to where if you want to pursue another career, you can. But you still have those military benefits coming in. So, like, honestly and truly, you can go either route. But you just have to know how to play the game. You have to know how to use the system to your benefit instead of the other way around. So I personally suggest, if you're between that age of 18 and 21 and you don't know what to do with your life, your mom and your dad telling you go to college, get a job, but deep down inside, you know that that's not the route that you want to go to the military. Go active duty military. And the reason why I say that is because at 18, you go active duty for 3 years. By the time you get out, you're 21. So you can still go back to college at 21, 22, 23 after you did 3 years in the military. But the good thing is that if you do that 3 years active duty and then you get out and decide, you know what, now I know what I want to do in my life. Now I'm ready to go to college. College paid for. College paid for. Paid for. Now, I do suggest that if you're at the age 18, 20, and you know for a fact, I want to go to college, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, I want to be a business major. If you already know exactly what you want out of college, then I suggest go to reserve route. So that way you can leverage both the military for what you want out of the civilian world. You see what I'm saying? Like, you could make it work for you either way, just depending on where you are in life. And the reason why I keep talking about that 18 to 21 age so much is because that is a critical age. You're an adult, but you're not really quite there yet. Everybody telling you you're an adult, you gotta make these hard decisions. What, you just graduated high school a couple months ago? Like you're still young mentally at that time. So that is the time, that is that age where you make life-changing decisions, whether you realize it or not. Think about it. How many people you know have their first child during that time? How many people you know get in trouble with the law at that time? How many people you know sometimes get these bills because they think they're an adult now but don't have a steady job? You see what I'm saying? So the military could really be a buffer for you if you're at that age range where you don't really know what you want to do with your life, but you need to do something. And I'm not saying that you can't get in trouble in the military or have a kid during that time frame, but the difference is that you're going to have a career to support you and the choices, versus you just out here 18, you have a baby, now you got to get a job, now you trying to figure out life and what to do. But the military provides you with some of that support. The military provides you with some of that support, because you have something constructive and productive to do. You know what I'm saying? And if you're from a small town and everybody getting in trouble or you guys know what I'm talking about, you know? And like there are always the smart kids who go directly to college, or the athletes who get the sports scholarships. And then there's you, and you know, you may not be the brightest, but you're not the dumbest person in the room. You know what I'm saying? But you just don't know what you want out of life. That is a really good hack. Go to the military, active duty for a couple years. What it does is it builds you a solid foundation. Builds you a solid foundation, and it gives you time to still mature and grow, but it's in a safe environment. You know what I'm saying? Like at that age, the military is almost like college, but you get paid to do it because you stay in barracks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you stay in barracks, you have a cafeteria, you're getting paid. So you could really save money because you're not spending money on housing. You don't really have any bills. So your biggest bill would be your car and car insurance. You know what I'm saying? So then at that point, you do 3, maybe 4 years in the military. You maybe what, 22, 23? You can still go to college afterwards. Now that college is completely paid for by the military. And if you love it, you stay in the military. Do 20 years. If not, you have something that you can leverage when you get out, instead of staying at home trying to figure it out. Because I know plenty of people who went to college, but they dropped out sophomore, junior year. Now you in student debt, and you ain't got a degree to show for it. Now you gotta go back home and get a job. But it's gonna be a minimum wage job because you don't have a degree or a skill set. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying you gotta do 20 years in the military, but there's value in it. And what I'm just trying to share with you is you could leverage it to where you are right now in life to where you want to be. And I'm a living testimony of that. I use the military to pay for nursing school. So for me, the military was a tool. And I'm still in the military right now to this day because it's still working for me. I never intended on doing more than 6 years in the military. But when I direct commission and I realized all the doors that had been open to me, it's like, man, I could really do this. I could really do 20 years in the military. So that's why I'm still here. You may not feel that same way, but I know for a fact there is something that you can leverage to get to where you want to be. And that's the bottom line. As long as the military is serving you, I say stay in. As soon as it starts not serving you, then it's gone, time to get out. Time to get out. But I want to say one thing as well. Every job, every industry has its quirks. People who work corporate jobs, people who work from home, business owner, everything has its quirks. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is perfect. By no means is the military perfect. No means is a corporate job perfect or easy. But once you determine what you want out of life, that's all that matters. You just using what you have in front of you to get you to where you want to be. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not going to keep going because now I'm going to get into something completely different. But the whole point of this video was just to help enlighten you on the difference between active duty versus reserve and which component may be better for you. So now that you're at the end, comment below if this video was helpful for you, you learned anything, which branch you want to do, which component, active duty or reserve. Drop it down below, all right? Since you guys made it to the end of this video, I have a big surprise for you guys, okay? September 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a free live question and answer. But the only thing is that you have to be a part of our community. Our community is the Army Nurse Tribe. So here's what I need you to do if you want to be a part of that community, okay? Go to my Instagram, the Army RN, either DM me or comment on one of my pictures, Tribe, okay? And then once you comment that word, I'm going to send you direct access to our free community, the Army Nurse Tribe, okay? And the questionnaire, the live questionnaire, is only going to be available to the people who are in our community, okay? So if you guys want to be a tribe member, you want to get more support and guidance on your journey, this is what I need you to do, okay? So like I said, follow me on IG, follow me on TikTok as well, the Army RN. And if you enjoyed this video, go like, comment, subscribe, blow it up. As a matter of fact, tell your friends. Tell your friends, tag your friends on my post on Instagram. If they're interested as well in this live Q&A, tag them below. Comment the word tribe on my IG, the Army RN, and I'll send y'all free access to the community, okay? Thank you guys so much. I can't wait to see you guys September 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? Thank you guys, and welcome to the tribe.